All right, welcome to another episode of Loose Change. So, like the screen says, Loose Change is banking talk, but business casual. So today we're going to talk about HR stuff and internships and jobs. So I have a really fun crew with me today. So let's go around and just say your name, your current title at the bank, and then tell me what you wanted to be when you grew up, when you were little.
Who's starting?
You start.
Okay. I'm Jada Larson. I'm a commercial loan processor at NBC. I guess when I was little, I don't even know. I think at one point I was thinking orthodontist and
That's interesting.
yeah.
That is interesting. Okay.
I'm Lindsay Groh at Stingle. I'm the HR director here at NBC, and I wanted to be a veterinarian until I realized that it involved blood and needles. And if you know me, I'm like a fainter.
I'm
like, I don't
right
do
there
well
with you,
that,
actually.
Yeah.
I'm Carson Cochran. I am a credit analyst intern. And what I wanted to be, right off the bat, a professional hockey player when I was a kid. But if I had to pick a second one, career-wise, probably a pilot of some sort.
Oh. And I am Hannah Willis. I'm the marketing director. And when I was maybe not really little, but like in my like preteen and teen years, my family owns a resort in Hayward, so I wanted to run that. And now I work at a bank.
Still wish I was running a resort.
Here we are.
Maybe later.
Yeah, maybe later. Okay, so I want to know how you guys heard about the internship program at NBC.
I can go through family friends, people that I know in the Duluth community, but mainly Stephanie Cummings.
Okay.
The Chief Retail Officer. Yeah. Chief Retail Officer, Steph Cummings. I grew up playing with her younger son, Ryan, playing hockey. So
Okay.
connections through the community, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you intern?
This previous summer,
2023.
2023, yep.
Okay.
I actually found mine. I was looking for finance internships online, and I came across NBC and was like, I'm going to apply for that. I did mine in 2022.
On what website did you find that?
I think just on our website. Like I was like,
Oh.
I'll check banks in the area and NBC.
So you were specifically looking for bank?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Like I was looking for finance in general. And I
Okay.
was like, well, let's look at banks around the area.
Okay.
So yeah, a
Love
little
that.
different, but that's how I found it.
Yeah.
And that was 2021.
22.
22.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about like your day-to-day as an intern? What was it like?
Mine was a lot of job shadowing. I got to bounce around the different departments. So I spent 3 weeks in mortgage, 3 weeks in commercial, and then 3 weeks with the credit analysts. It was a lot of job shadowing, a lot of exposure to different areas of the bank and different positions.
Did you get to kind of like pick that? Like, because I'm telling you, yours wasn't quite the same.
Well, very
right?
similar, honestly, over the summer, yeah. Very similar to Jada's. Then just diving in right now to what I'm doing as an intern, being a credit analyst is just more focused on the analyst side instead of, right, exactly that. We got to spend a few weeks in each department and kind of exactly job shadow and just ask questions whenever we had a thought.
But you guys had a lot more exposure to
I think,
support
yes,
departments, too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we probably saw almost the
Every
whole
different-
bank, yeah. Not just kind of if I ever thought about it, the main roles that I
Yeah.
would think of were
Yeah.
mortgage, commercial, and maybe an analyst position.
bankers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Mhm.
Yes, the people that you see when you
Right,
walk
exactly,
into
yeah.
a bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like constantly evolving, I feel like. So we're changing it up a little bit
Yeah.
for this year, and it's going to be a little bit more like what you did. With a sprinkle
Yeah, sure,
of
for
what
sure.
you guys did.
For sure, no,
So it's
yeah,
cute.
getcha.
So it's still going to be a community.
refining.
So it's still going to be a community banking intern, but it's going to be an emphasis on commercial banking. And so it's going to be a majority of time spent with like the commercial loan processors, analysts, bankers. but we still are going to give like a little bit of exposure to all of the other departments, but it'll be like smaller blocks of time instead of like a week here, a week there, a week there. So hopefully it's kind of like the best of.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That does, yeah.
Commercial was my favorite part of my internship.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's the feedback that we've received.
Totally was between
Why
the
do
three
you
of
think
us.
so? Because that's just what you have the most interest in?
Yeah, probably.
I think too, like, pretty much every intern that we've had, maybe like a couple exceptions, have said, I want to be a commercial banker eventually.
Right.
And the path to be a commercial banker is either through like commercial processing or credit analyst. So.
That's kind of interesting to me that our interns would say, like, that I want to be a commercial banker. Like, I don't think that I even,
Commercial
like...
bankers are cool, though.
They're super cool.
They are. Like, I
just do all the cool stuff.
I guess I just,
hope
like...
they watch this part.
think back to, like, college. Like, if somebody was like, do you want, like... What's a commercial banker? I'd be like, I don't know, but maybe that's because I wasn't in like the finance.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
realm.
If I had to go through when I was first starting out at in college at UMD, I would have not been able to tell you what an actual like commercial banker was. I thought it was you go in, you deal with maybe a person or two, banker or two, and that's just who you're dealing with, not mortgage, retail, commercial,
the back office.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff. Yeah, and I think that that's kind of part of the goal of the internship is like, number one, to get college students excited about banking. Like there's so many different careers in banking, and that's kind of why we went with the model that we did last year.
Sure.
Because you do, like you walk into a bank and you see like tellers, personal bankers, maybe a mortgage banker. You know, if you know somebody that has a business, you maybe have been exposed to a commercial banker. And don't think about like human resources and marketing and accounting and finance and IT.
Yeah.
You know, like all of these. So like just getting that the word out there, and then also like, you know, when you're in college, you maybe don't necessarily know exactly what you want to do, but just like getting exposure to all those different areas so that you can see the people in action and then make a better decision. And then obviously we want you to fall in love with NBC. So that you come back.
Did you find that it was pretty eye-opening when you did your internships? Like, oh, I didn't know that like banks had these departments or
Yeah, for sure. It was just a great experience, and I loved seeing all the different positions because I came back and I was like, oh, I could see myself doing that position. I can't really see myself doing that one.
Yeah.
So that made it a lot easier trying to come back.
Yeah. Okay, and you finished your internship in 2022, like in the fall-ish.
Yep.
So what was kind of the timeline of like when you finished to when you, like, did you start here right away? Did you take a break? Did we reach back out?
Yeah.
Did you reach back out?
So I was here, I finished my internship in August, I think. Yeah. And then I went back to school in the fall at UMD. And I graduated in the spring, and then I reached out to my old supervisor, Dave Strom, and I was like, hey, are there any openings that I might be interested in?
Yeah.
And he kind of guided me through that process.
What she's not saying is they were fighting over her.
Really?
She kind of got her pick of what she wanted to do. I even reached out because I had an HR position open.
Yeah,
and I was like, what?
I have a minor in HR too.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah.
Was it kind of like a no-brainer that you like? Did you feel like you wanted to come back?
For
like,
sure. Yeah.
That's cool. What about you? Okay, so you finished in the fall.
Yeah, same thing, kind of fall, just a year later. I knew I wanted to dive in more to the commercial side. I didn't know if I would be fortunate enough to kind of get an internship rolling for the fall. So I, again, reached out to Daniel, I think maybe Devin too, in HR, and was like, hey, if there's any opportunity, because we had gotten asked towards the end of our internship, if there's any interest, maybe reach out and we can maybe work something out and get you guys back. So like Jada, I wanted to come back and kind of dive into the analyst position a lot more, just because of family talks and I guess experience from talking with different lenders. That was a way that they started and got to see behind the scenes stuff. So kind of just leads you into a kind of gets you a better idea of the career, and I don't know, you get to see everything, right? So.
And you're actually like working on credit.
Right.
Now,
so
right?
yeah, now
so
I'm
more
actually
hands-on.
more hands-on. Yeah, which is great for me because I'll say I don't think a credit analyst spot would have. If you asked me that probably a few years ago, I would have never said I could sit at a desk like that and work
Crunch
on credits.
numbers all
Yeah,
day.
no, exactly.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't even known what it was.
No,
but,
honest
like-
to God, no. I definitely want to look into a sales position of some sort in the future, but I think this internship is gonna kind of separate me and allow me to understand more of what needs to be done behind the scenes before I try to make deals.
Yeah,
Before you're wheeling it
Right, yeah.
It's definitely important.
Yeah.
I think it's just like so cool that we like had this program and then that they stayed and that like we have like young people who work at the bank. And sometimes I think it's like you think about like working at the bank and it's like, ugh. Like I don't know about you guys, but whenever I tell somebody I work at NBC, I'm like,
She's fired.
yeah. I always like they're like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I do marketing at a bank. I always follow it up with like, it's more fun than it sounds.
100%.
Because I'm like, it just seems like, oh.
Yeah.
Being HR at a bank.
Oh, I would like have a whole spiel about
No,
why
I
it's
don't
fun.
drive a minivan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, can you guys talk a little bit about the culture at NBC and like why you liked it and kind of like what stood out to you a little bit?
The first thing is just the open door policy, I think. If there's a question, I can account for a couple times not being able to, maybe people are out and about or whatever, they have meetings and such, but I've walked over to the other side downtown of the Allworth Hollinsdale building and asked a question just right up front, just because I didn't know what maybe was going on or whatever. But no, open door policy kind of came to mind right away. If there's a question or you just need a little guidance or unsure of maybe how to word something in my work right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's super including, open. They're there to help always.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's so positive here.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite thing. Everyone, when I came back, everyone was so welcoming and so kind. Like,
Yeah.
It was a great experience coming back too. Like, I felt so special.
Yeah. You are. Yeah, like I've said this on podcasts before, but I just like, it's like you're just like with your friends.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
Good-
it's just
good
like,
atmosphere.
yeah, like it
Absolutely.
feels really good.
Work friends are the best.
Work friends are so fun.
And it's like a good crew right now too. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, we just have an awesome employee base, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right now, last week, Brad, our CEO, Jeremy, our CFO, and I went over to our operations center and gathered whatever employees could get away for a few minutes and went for a walk.
Oh, nice.
And then after that, Brad went on to a couple of different branches,
Nice.
and when he came back, he was just like, the vibe is so good. Like, it's just such a good vibe.
It's a vibe.
Yes. It's like everybody's just really positive and
Mhm.
happy. So
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome.
Lindsay, can you talk a little bit about, we don't need to go super in depth about the benefits, but just like a few of the top ones that
Sure.
NBC offers?
Yeah. So, of course, we have all of the traditional benefits that you would think of, and you guys jump in. Carson, it
Yeah,
doesn't
not so much for me
probably
right now, but that's
probably
all
not.
good.
Not
I'm
yet.
jumping
Not
on
yet,
you
yeah.
now, but we have, of course, like health insurance and that kind of thing, to dental, vision, life insurance, bank paid, short-term disability, long-term disability, life insurance. We have a pretty generous 401k match. So we match dollar for dollar up to 6% on your 401k contribution, and we have 100% participation in our 401k
That's
plan
huge.
right now,
Mhm.
which I think just kind of reflects that it's like, above benchmark kind of benefit. Some other cool, I would say, like maybe more unique benefits that we have is we have a health and wellness reimbursement, where the bank basically pays employees quarterly to like go out for dinner with your friends or like take your kids to a play. So it's essentially like a stipend that you can get reimbursed for going out and doing things that will benefit your like mental, physical, or emotional well-being. So I think that that's really cool. And then we also have volunteer time off, which I think is not totally uncommon, but is fairly new to the bank. We are very community oriented. So we have 2 weeks a year, one in the spring and one in the fall, where we are going out and it's like a week of caring, where we go out into the community and do volunteer and do different things. And that is all like bank paid, just like regular time, kind of an expectation, I would say, of employees to participate in. Along with, all the sponsorships that the bank does, we often have volunteer opportunities for bank sponsored events, which again is regular time. But in addition to that, employees get up to 12 hours that they can use to volunteer for their own organization that they want to, that they feel passionate about. So like, for example, I am able to go on field trips with my daughter through her school and use volunteer time off instead of PTO. So
And if you take a picture and post about it,
yes.
your organization gets entered.
into a drawing for $1,000 donation from the bank. So
which is super cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. So Carson, you don't have access to our benefits yet, but maybe soon.
Hopefully soon.
Jada, do you have you any thoughts around them? And I could go first. You can kind of understand what I'm asking. But one that really stood out to me was the 401k. And when I first started, I was like, I don't even know what a 401k is, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
But the more you talk to other people and you ask about their 401k or what their match is, I've never heard of another company matching 6%. So when I log in and I look at my 401k, it's yay! Oh, yeah, I'm look at me. So that was a big one, and then the dental reimbursement that you just can go to the dentist and then get paid for it, or that you get yearly eye exams. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I should take advantage of that one.
For sure.
I
I did it a couple years ago because I was like, well, it's free. I might as well go. And then I had really bad vision. And I'm like,
good thing you went.
Good thing I went. So yeah, maybe that's at every organization. I don't know. But I was like, that's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But did you have any?
Yeah, I was really excited about the 401k match. I take advantage of that. I do the dental reimbursement, which is really nice.
Yeah.
I was able to use a couple hours of VTO last year, too.
Yay.
I went and rang the bell during Christmas time. That was fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
I guess another cool thing that we do is the Denim for Charity.
Oh, yeah.
So every third Friday of the month, you pay $5 and you get to wear jeans, and then we select from that pool of associates who participated, and then we donate that money.
Yes, to an organization of their choice.
To an organization of their choice.
Yep, so whoever gets drawn gets to choose the organization that goes to.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool, too.
Yes. Let's circle back a little bit to 1, open positions,
Okay.
and 2, our internship program. When does that kind of kick off?
Yeah.
And like you said,
enough.
Are we looking for finance people? Are we looking for anybody? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay, so internship program. So we talked a little bit about the community banking internship and kind of how that is evolving a little bit for this year. We are also going to do a couple of other paths this year that I'm super excited about. So one is an HR intern.
Oh, fun.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Love it.
So we're doing an HR intern. That's actually posted
Maybe I need a marketing
right
intern.
now. Right?
Oh,
Yes. Yes. Why
Yeah.
not? So the HR internship is posted right now, and we are looking for somebody, obviously, that's specifically interested in human resources. And it is, you can go to our website, nbcbanking.com, click on About,
Yep.
click on Careers,
Yep.
and then click on Join Our Team.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh.
So internship season is heating up right now a little bit. We did, UWS had a career and internship fair last week that we were at, and then we're also doing one at UMD on the 21st. And in addition to the HR path, we are doing an IT intern as well.
Oh, fun.
So more to come on that. That one isn't completely built yet. But we will be posting the community banking and the IT internships by the end of the month. This month, we're hoping to have them posted by the 21st for the UMD internship and career fair. But for sure by the end of the month.
Okay.
So that's exciting. Remind me what else you asked, because there were multiple
Other
questions in there.
other open positions.
I don't have any other open positions right now. The HR intern is the only
Maybe that's a good
posted
sign.
position. I think it's awesome. I think it's a sign of our lower turnover that we have seen.
Yeah.
We do actually have 2 positions that are in interviews right now, but the managers have such good candidates that when I asked them if they wanted me to highlight the position, they're like, no, we've got great candidates. Like, you don't need to talk about them.
That's awesome.
So I will bring up our teller position just because even though we don't have any openings right now, we love to promote from within. And so often our tellers get promoted
For sure.
up into other positions. And so I would say that that's probably the most common position that we hire for. So I reached out to Brittany, who's our lead teller here at the main branch, and just asked her, like, you know, what would your ideal candidate look like? And I am not going to be able to quote her word for word, but she basically said, like, somebody that comes in to work with a smile on their face every day and is, like, excited to learn, is willing to, like, start conversations with customers, attention to detail, like positive attitude.
For sure.
So I just thought that was cool. So keep in mind, anybody who's listening, that
And we have a nice referral bonus.
and we have
for
a nice
associates.
employees.
Yep.
We give a $1,000 referral bonus for employees if they refer somebody, and they stay for 6 months,
yeah.
I think. But really just like, you know, watching that career page, that's where all of our external postings get put on, and you can apply through there. We do have an email address, recruitment@nbcbanking.com, that goes to the HR team. So if you have questions, want to submit a resume, or just want to chat with us, you can always send us an email to it.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because even if you don't see something, but somebody watches this podcast and is like, I want to work at NBC.
Why wouldn't you?
You know, like, let us, you know, like,
Yes,
send an email.
absolutely.
Like, it's never gonna.
We are
hurt.
growing. Things
Yeah.
are always evolving and changing. So even though we don't have any open positions right now, that doesn't mean it's going to remain that
Yeah.
way for long. So
I would actually touch on that. Even if, like you guys were saying, if you want to send in a resume to anyone looking for an internship, I think just do it to get your name out there.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And we are collecting resumes. So like at the UWS career fair that we were at, we had people submit if they wanted more
Sure.
information, and
Yep.
we'll like send them the posting when it's live. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
What would be like one tip of advice or, that you would give maybe somebody in college that's like thinking about an internship at NBC? Like, what would you tell them?
Just apply.
Yeah,
like,
honestly,
just
what I
go
just-
for it
yeah.
and see what happens.
That banking's
I'd-
cool.
Yeah, experience is experience at any point, I think.
Yeah,
And NBC is a great place to work.
Yeah.
So
that's huge.
yeah,
Yeah.
make connections.
Right.
Yeah.
Love that.
Do you feel like you applied or have been applying what you learned in your internship at your current position? Or do you feel like it was more like the connections maybe that
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say it was more connections. My job is a lot of like on the job training,
Yes.
but
You didn't go in depth that far when you
no,
were
it was just
interning,
just a few
probably.
days, and you
Yeah.
can't learn all that in
Yeah.
a few days. So
But just the feeling that you got, that
Yeah.
like when you were looking to come back, that you like wanted to, like, that's
Yeah,
like,
that makes me happy.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Love it.
Awesome. Anything else that you guys want to add before we wrap up?
Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah.
That was super fun.